Alright, and we are off. VinceHD versus Jason. Already Vince going into that 7-2 stack, so we can expect a lot of back-to-backs from that.
And Jason tanking a lot of garbage here. Prepares a nice cut copy. Let's go right into more pressure here. And Vince is trying to handle all this. He's doing a pretty decent job at it, but Jason does have all that abilities to just like send massive amounts all at once. But Vince, he's really consistent with his down stacking here, and he's kind of unbothered by it. In fact, I think he might be using all of Jason's garbage to his advantage here for these counter spikes.
Oh, when he's in a power stack.
Going for some sort of Ren here. He finds a little bit of a combo, but nothing like he was probably hoping to find.
Yeah, not sure if that was worth it, because it looks like that is going to end up killing him in the end. I think Jason is definitely going to have like more of those like really quick segments where he's like doing a lot of back-to-backs and like sending a ton of pressure, but Vince has a lot of like spiking power.
For sure.
So different ways of just sending a lot of damage in a short amount of time. They both basically accomplish the same thing, but
yeah,
I definitely think sending a lot of back-to-back pressure is just gonna fuel Vince.
Yeah, Vince looked like he maybe wanted to do some sort of TSD there, but his stack didn't really cooperate with that idea, so he's now forced to kind of go for some weird T-spins here, but they work out pretty well for him. And meanwhile, Jason's trying to get something going here, kind of struggling a little bit. But he's at the bottom of his board, so he has a lot of room to really work with his stack here. Yeah, Vince is finding a TSS donation to a Tetris, and Jason has some sort of stack going on, but cleans things up real quick. Gets a nice spike over to Vince, but Vince is still unfazed by all of this.
Yeah, gets a little bit of a down stack combo. Has a lot of cheese on his board, but Jason's not really sending much pressure over to him. He's trying to down stack through cheese himself, so kinda at a stalemate a little bit.
Yeah. Ooh! Vince had a nice DT, but he unfortunately didn't rotate it properly. But he had a nice DT with a very interesting overhang. You don't see too often.
Yeah, big spike coming out from Vince. But Misdrop's like directly after it, which is very risky, but he is able to get out of it, and Hurry Up is starting to come up on these players' boards. Players starting to feel more pressure than they already did. And we'll have to see how these players... Alright, looks like Jason is actually able to send a lot of back-to-back pressure. Gets really clean garbage that just seemed to spawn in just the right well.
Yeah. Now, it's going to be Zekis for some more back-to-backs here, and Vince seemed to misdrop his T-piece and can't find the fix in time, and Jason's going to capitalize off of that.
Yep. Vince just immediately going, like, not opting to do any back-to-backs, just opting to go for a really big combo.
Yeah, but Jason's able to send so much pressure that he cancels pretty much all of it, so if Vince is attempting to, like, cheese Jason, it's not really working out too well for him.
Yeah. See, spin triple to fix that misdrop. That's a nice fix.
Yeah. He's doing a lot of downstacking here on Vince's side, but I mean, Jason really, he just has this consistent ability to just send pressure at a really high speed. And, you know, we're seeing both players spending a lot of time near the bottoms of their board. And Vince is getting pushed up a little bit here. His board is kind of a mess, but he's finding down stacks, but misdrops are following. It's going to be a little tough for him, but he finds a nice TSD to get out of that. And looks like he's pretty much through the worst of it. And Jason's board is a little uneven, but nothing a few skims can't fix. Yeah, it looks like Vince just comes in with a lot of pressure. A little too much for Jason to downstack through.
Yeah, Vince immediately got to the bottom of his board and just started sending back-to-backs. Really nice plays from him. Goes for DPC. Doesn't quite do that correctly, though.
Yeah, Jason had so much clean to work with there. Looks like Vince is... If that was Tetrio, Vince would have been able to do a 180 T-spin there, but not here. And yeah, I mean, we're seeing Vince at the bottom of his board just setting a lot of pressure. It's too much for Jason to handle, so... I mean, we're seeing a lot of these big, spikes here from just a lot of pressure, and yeah, it's really a battle of who can get the better one, because, you know, in Jstris, you really do need those big spikes to kill a lot of the time.
Yeah, garbage spawning in the perfect well for Vince, but he's unable to use it well, because he's misdropped, but since then, he has another massive well, and he's able to use that one very well. Very nice pressure from Vince. That's a little bit too much for Jason to handle.
Now, Vince in a pretty good position here. Can't take that T-spin, but it doesn't really affect him very much. He's sending a lot of pressure here, and Jason pushed up a lot, but, you know, he has enough speed to really get through this, but we're starting to see Vince really push that speed, that plane at 2.4 PPS. Finds a creative little J-spin there to get through his downstack. But yeah, I mean, he's trying to push a speed advantage, and against Jason, that's a very tough thing to do, and it looks like even the speed advantage isn't really enough here.
Yeah. Nice two-line from Vince. Able to send just a lot of clean garbage that's going to fuel Jason, though, and it ends up biting him. But, you know, two lines are cool.
Yeah, I love me a good two-line on a Friday night, even though it's not Friday.
It's giving a T-spin a little weirdly, but doesn't really seem to bother him all too much. Going for
nice combo from Vince.
Combo. I thought it was Rin, but it wasn't exactly.
Yeah, Vince playing a little bit slower this time around. Playing at 3.2. Jason playing around 3.6. Jason has a massive clean wall to work with, but I mean, he's just trying to downstack through all of it very quickly, so he might have neglected to find, you know, the larger attack that might have been available.
Yeah.
Big spike from Vince. Not enough to kill Jason, but he's pushed up a bit. But again, Jason had a lot of clean garbage there, but he opted to find some sort of combo that doesn't really send that much. Very interesting decision.
And Vince is just... Yeah, Vince is sending so much pressure with that 6-3 stack. And again, too much for Jason. He's starting to climb. He's starting to tie this up again.
Another two-line from Vince. And Jason's going to probably use this clean garbage to his advantage, but Jason finds a little bit of T-spin Tetris action right into some Ren. Works pretty well from him, but Vince is prepared to deal with it. Now Jason kind of on the ropes here, finds a good down stack, but Vince coming right back at him with some pressure. But Jason's able to get down quick enough before he's overwhelmed by the pressure. He has a tough misdrop here, but he can T-spin through it pretty easily. And now both players are again at the bottom of their boards, kind of resetting the positions here.
Nice. Oh, and he's
power stacking a little bit. Ooh. He's really going all in on this, but Jason comes with a massive spike, and it turns out Vince is mostly going to cancel, but he's able to get a really nice continuation there that sends a lot to Jason, but it's just not enough.
Yeah, he was basically at the very top of his board, just barely able to live that.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. The tables in this match can turn so quickly. Just one slip is all it takes. And a really cool line, or ice, I just call it a line, an eye spin to be able to down stack.
Mm-hmm.
It's just pulling out all the crazy spins, it looks like.
Yeah. Jason trying to get down to this garbage. Does so pretty successfully, but has to use a lot of pieces to do it. And Vince, meanwhile, had a pretty big stack. Vince going for a TSD here. Takes the T-spin mini through a TSD setup, but he skims out of it. And now we're entering the hurry-up phase here. It's very interesting to see how these players do in hurry-up.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to try to down stack as much as possible. Try to get any easy damage out that they can, but not do anything too risky.
Yeah, Jason pushed up really high there, but I mean, he's always able to find these like really narrow ways to live, but unfortunately he has to burn an eyepiece there, and he can't get to his other one quick enough. And Vince takes a round. So we're all tied up at 5.
Yeah. It's crazy that's only 5. It feels like this match has gone on for so long. These players just counter each other so well.
Yeah. We're finding Jason's finding some pretty good pressure here, but Vince was unfazed, but that is a lot of garbage he has to deal with. But he does get out in time. Finds a T-spin to a Tetris, able to cancel off pretty much everything Jason was sending, and now he's starting to find his way down. But I mean, Vince is really looking for a big down stack spike to really, like, you know, seal the deal here, but it's very hard to find those.
Mm-hmm. A little bit of a misdrop for Vince, but he's mostly okay.
Yeah. Vince
Looks
all the way
like-
at the bottom, just stacking some pressure here. But Jason comes with a massive spike, and Vince is unprepared for that. And Jason will take that round.
Yeah, that was looking like we were in for another really long game, but you know, just one insane spike.
Mm-hmm. This coming with some pressure. Jason wasn't in a great spot to deal with it, but he's able to speed out of it. You know, it's very hard to find these situations where your opponent can't survive a big spike. That's why it either needs to be a spike so big that it just can't be lived, or it needs to be like really perfectly timed.
Yeah. A lot of
And that
clean
misdrop
curves.
might give Jason an opportunity here, and he capitalizes on it and takes another round. Alright.
Interesting T-spin for Vince. He's stacking up a lot here. Oh, and that eyepiece is not what you want to put there.
Yeah, Vince could have lived that, but after those 2 misdrops, it was really looking a little bit too grim for him there.
Yeah, covering your wall that much is very bad.
Ooh.
And that was, he was misdropping that, and he somehow found a way to PC it. I did not see that.
Yeah, very well played by Vince.
Yeah,
Despite
Vince's
the
PC
misdrop.
vision is like so good. It looks like.
Yeah,
At least he finds weird solves really well, which I feel like that is good PC vision.
yeah, probably. If you could see those solves, you could probably see any solve. Or at least the majority of them. But yeah, Vince just stacking up for some Tetris this year, staying some good pressure, but Jason's kind of countering that pressure really well with his own. And both players are just fighting here to try to find some sort of advantage. Jason stacking kind of weirdly here. I don't know what he's going for. He's kind of just skimming a lot. Gets to the bottom of his board. Meanwhile, Vince is at the bottom too, but Jason gets pushed up, and it could be an opportunity for Vince because Jason has some cheese, and it looks like he doesn't have the pieces he wants to deal with this, and Vince is able to send a huge spike to like counteract that.
Yeah, Vince saw Jason was in a bad situation and builds up a C-spin.
Yeah.
Followed by a Tetris, so definitely a really good gameplay from Vince.
We got a nice combo from Jason, but Vince can cancel pretty much all of that.
Yeah, some misdrops. So Vince is able to use 180s very well to fix his misdrops I've seen.
Yeah.
And Jason has a misdrop on his board, along with a ton of cheese waiting for him after he clears through that. So
yeah. It's 8-7, so this match is a nail biter. Vince showing, you know, he can definitely compete with Jason.
Yeah, I can imagine Jason is probably pretty like kind of nervous.
Ooh, and Jason makes some mistakes at the top of his board there, and Vince is able to top him out, and we're at 8-8, tie game here. Vince finding another PC, going into the DPC. He gets it, but he receives garbage a little too quickly, and isn't able to continue looping it. And now Jason's trying to access as well. He does. And Vince thinks he can tank it, but he can't. And now it's going to be match point for Jason here.
Yeah, Vince really needs to get these misdrops out.
Ooh, that mid-game Tetris PC from Jason is sent off to Vince, but it's not enough. And now Jason has to deal with the misdrop at the top of the board here. A huge spike from Vince, but Jason's still hanging on. But it looks like that's going to be too much for him.
That was a Tetris PC into a tiebreaker from Vince.
Wow. And now this could be anyone's game. And it looks like Jason's going to misdrop, and Vince is going to take this set.
Oh, GG's.
This completes the comeback.
10-9. Wow. It's a little bit of a heartbreaker, that last game there. And Firestorm's ready. He just joins the room instantly.